Well, yes, definitely. I did learn how to ride a bike when I was in the 10th grade. I learned it from my father, who possesses a personality as a teacher and who took responsibilities for teaching me to ride a bike within a week. At first, I had to struggle with my fears of falling really badly. But after my efforts and with my father's step-by-step instructions, I know how to keep balance. And finally, I could ride a bike in the correct way to go to school without any helps. And today's when I grow up, I realize how important for me to know how to ride a bike to go to school independently. Since it helped me gain my maturities and is also play an important role in my life because now I can go to school independently and it also help my parents decrease one of their burdens. Moreover, when I when I learned to ride a bike with my father, we share many memorable experiences, which reminds me of his love for me and his effort to help me improve myself comprehensively.
That was a very detailed answer. Based on what you shared, I would estimate your band score to be around 6.5. Regarding fluency, you spoke well and at a good length, but there were a few pauses that interrupted the natural flow. For vocabulary, you used some nice phrases like struggle with my fears and memorable experiences, but we could work on making some of the word choices sound more natural. Let's look at some grammar corrections. Instead of possesses a personality as a teacher, you could say has a teacher like personality, and without any helps should be without any help. Also, now I grow up would be better as now that I've grown up. Here is a corrected version of your answer. Yes, definitely. I learned how to ride a bike when I was in the 10th grade. I learned it from my father, who has a teacher like personality and took responsibility for teaching me to ride within a week. At first, I had to struggle with my fear of falling, but with my father's step by step instructions, I learned how to keep balance and finally could ride in the correct way to go to school without any help. Now that I've grown up, I realize how important it is for me to know how to ride a bike to school independently, as it has helped me become more mature and it also helps my parents decrease their burden. Moreover, when I learned to ride a bike with my father, we shared many memorable experiences which remind me of his love and effort. Now for your next question.
Well, yes, definitely. When I was a child, I did learn how to draw or paint. My parents took me uh, to drawing classes for beginners when they know I have a knack for drawing, and I felt really helped. And at that age, I felt very happy because I have more opportunities to access more and more information, and can I also could explore the world around me. Uh, but when I were but when I became a school student, I I was up to my years in assignments, so I have to stop studying at that class classes. But nowadays, when I have grown up, I will really grateful to my parents' love for me, and I also really respect and I also feel really respect to the teacher who put really efforts to teach me how to draw and how to improve my talents in the correct way. Besides, knowing how to draw also helped me improve myself comprehensively and helped me very much in various fields in my life.
Thank you for that addition. For this answer about drawing, I'd estimate a band score of around 6.0. Your fluency was quite good and you expressed your thoughts clearly, but there were a few grammatical slips like saying a drawing classes instead of drawing classes and feel really help instead of feeling supported. Here is a corrected version of your response. Yes, definitely. When I was a child, I learned how to draw and paint. My parents enrolled me in drawing classes for beginners when they realized I had a knack for drawing. At that age, I felt very happy because I had more opportunities to explore the world and access information. Although I had to stop those classes when I became a primary school student due to my heavy schedule of assignments, I am now deeply grateful for my parents' love and respect my teachers' efforts. Knowing how to draw helps me improve myself holistically and benefits me in various fields of life. Now for your next question.
No, unfortunately, I haven't learned how to use a camera, which is a pity. I have the first grad at using a camera was when I was in the when I was in the when I was 12 years old. Because I always snow under my homework, and I don't have any plan for becoming to for having a career in the filming field. So um, so in the future, as my plan, I don't think that I will learn to use a camera, but I think it must be interesting for who plan to have a career uh, in the professional filmings to use how to a camera, which is a which is an essential skill for their career path.
That's a well thought out response. For this answer regarding cameras, I would estimate your band score to be about 6.5. Your fluency was excellent, and you expressed your opinions clearly without stumbling over your words. Regarding vocabulary, you used some nice expressions like first crack and essential skill, but we could enhance the phrasing slightly. Let's address some grammar mistakes. Instead of always snow under my homework, you should say always snowed under with homework, and who plan to have a career in the professional filmings would be better as who plan to pursue a career in professional filmmaking. Here is a corrected version of your answer. No, unfortunately, I haven't learned how to use a camera, which is a pity. I had my first experience with a camera when I was 12 years old, but I am always snowed under with homework and don't plan to pursue a career in professional filmmaking. So looking ahead, I don't think I will learn this skill, but I recognize it must be fascinating for those who need it as an essential skill for.
Yes, I have been learning to speak English since I was in the since I was in the in the fifth grade. Because my because my parents know how important it is to learn a foreign language, language, and it's also really important for my career path in the future. So they enroll me to English classes to English class, and now when I grow up, I realize how important it is for me to speak a foreign language fluently, because I can expand my social circle, and it's also important for me um, to increase me and access more and more opportunity in the future in my career path. Moreover, when I know that, I feel really grateful for my parents' efforts and their love for me.
That's an excellent response. For this answer about learning a foreign language, I'd estimate your band score to be around 6.5. Your fluency was good and you expressed your ideas clearly, but there were a few grammatical errors, such as saying employ me to an English class instead of enrolled me in an English class and increase me and access more and more opportunity instead of increase my opportunities. Here is a corrected version of your answer. Yes, I have been learning to speak English since I was in the 5th grade because my parents understood the importance of learning a foreign language for my future career, so they enrolled me in an English class. Now that I've grown up, I realize how important it is for me to speak a foreign language fluently because it can expand my social circle and also gives me access to more opportunities in my career. Moreover, I am truly grateful for my parents' efforts and their love. Now for your next question.
Stop the interview.
Tạm biệt bạn, chúc bạn một ngày tốt lành.